I think I stand among the few when I say that I was quite disappointed by the overall introduction of Cyberpunk 2077, a game designed by Mike Pondsmith and being developed by CD Projekt Red, the same studio involved in making the critically acclaimed game series The Witcher. Cyberpunk 2077, not out yet, will take players on an open and colorfully crafted world in Night City, an American metropolis set in the Free State of California, as confirmed by the newly released gameplay demo. This city is dominated by mega corporations, powerful people, and powerful forces, governments, etc., that all contribute to the conspiring in order to keep people oppressed and stomped on. This was a statement by Mike Pondsmith himself in an interview video named Cyberpunk's Universe Explained, in which Mike talks about his vision behind the earlier game Cyberpunk 2020, which was released in 1988. From what the demo suggested, Cyberpunk 2077 is a role-playing video game which can only be experienced through a first-person perspective, in which we play as a character named V. This character is completely customizable, which I personally fancied the most, as it reminds me a lot of No More Heroes, a game in which I spent many weeks playing that made me feel like I was someone I really wasn't. The main character Travis Touchdown's life is dictated by the choices and things we, as players, do, similar to that of the Grand Theft Auto series, but more specifically Grand Theft Auto 5, where there are 3 different characters whose lives we experience and the ways in which they all get connected together through the fun, explosive, and interactive story. While both of these games appeal to me on a very particular level and share similar concepts to Cyberpunk's world, I still found myself disappointed and feeling left out, not understanding why that truly is. You see, I love video games, and I find myself being able to connect with a lot of the ones that I do play. However, Cyberpunk's world almost makes me feel like I don't want it. Most of the games that I enjoy are linear-driven story games, which affects both the story and sometimes the gameplay. Games such as the Uncharted series, The Last of Us, God of War, and even Ratchet & Clank would fall under this category. There are blends, of course, and examples of this would obviously be God of War, where there are open exploration parts which essentially contradicts the linear feeling, but still feels quite linear nonetheless. Instead, Cyberpunk feels a lot more like a polished and redefined Ubisoft Montreal Watch Dogs, but more focused on gameplay, exploration, and even story. With that being said, I did enjoy Watch Dogs, but by the last act, I found myself feeling a bit drained by the lackluster world in which was seemingly created to feel more live than dead, which consequently was the reason as to why I never finished the final act of the game to begin with. I worry that Cyberpunk 2077 might feel like a repeat of Watch Dogs, which again, I did enjoy playing, but felt disappointed regardless of how much time I spent invested in it. From what was released by the gameplay, the storyline isn't clear to me, and it seems as though the game is merely an open world experience which is defined by the player entirely and not the developers who make the game. Don't get me wrong, I do like being able to define the game in which I play and how I play it, but I don't like the full entire control. I don't like having endless possibilities because eventually side quests and missions might feel like a rinse and repeat of that of another mission I might have played the following week. This was something I overwhelmingly felt when hearing the response of No Man's Sky, a game which offered its players a huge world with huge exploration to be done, but the overall concept felt like a rinse and repeat which began losing its touches from when the game was being marketed. I can tell you that after an hour of streaming No Man's Sky for the first time, I was completely bored of the concept and wished I never got up, skipped breakfast to pick up the game, wishing I had never been intrigued by the game to begin with. I still feel this way, and nothing will change that until I decide to retry the game, which by then wouldn't make any sense as there would be a ton of other games that might have me engaged instead. Now, there is a number of reasons as to why this isn't something I, as a gamer who enjoys linear story video games, might not want to play a game as such, but to those of you who might feel contrary, please do not be afraid to express so in the comment section below, as I am open to a different point of view and will always be. While a lot of the assets shown off on the demo are created to look futuristic and are, quite good at that, the gameplay doesn't look groundbreaking to me, which was something many were giving credit to the devs for doing. I'm not all about quote-unquote groundbreaking gameplay, as what that truly means is subjected to that of everyone else, but I think unique gameplay is something I can appreciate, and I just didn't feel that way from what I have seen so far of Cyberpunk's world, besides it looking different, which I am totally open to seeing more of course. In response to the customization, I am incredibly looking forward to exploring that, as I can again pretend like I am someone that I am not and do whatever I wish in this vibrant world of futuristic designs that the talented and capable developers at CD Projekt Red are creating. I think that Cyberpunk 2077 has a lot of given potential, but as of now, I think I am left disappointed and need to see more of the game. Hello, that was my take on the Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay demo and why I thought it was slightly disappointing. This is, of course, my opinion and my opinion only. I know that many might disagree with me, and that's okay. If you're one of those people, please feel free to comment below, like I said, and tell me why you might agree or disagree. And of course, if you're new to my channel and enjoyed what you watched today, please feel free to subscribe, as I do have a lot of other things to offer you. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and I have been TheStarkz. See you guys around.